Hello friends, this is Shatarupa from Calcutta. I am a life coach, a healer, a counselor and a transformational speaker. I have come to talk to you today about some simple things about life. Currently we are all in a very tense situation. Most of us are constantly watching the news, constantly trying to see how many counts have risen in the coronavirus epidemic, how many people have died today, how many people have caught the virus today. It's a non-stop count. Every day it's just counting higher and higher, and people are getting scared and more scared. What is the thing that is disturbing them most of all is this fear, is this panic. What happens if I catch it? What happens if the virus is in my house? If it affects someone close to me? If someone close to me dies because of the virus? It's a paralyzing fear. It's a total stoppage of everything that was going on smoothly. Life has suddenly come to a halt, as if we don't know what to do next. We don't know what is going to happen to us next. And we are scared. We are scared of dying. Why are we so scared of dying? What is it about death that makes us so scared? What I have realized in life is death is a finality. Death is an endless thing about which we know nothing. It's the end. We don't know what is going to happen to us after death. We do not know what happens to our loved ones when they pass over. So death to us means end of everything good that we know of. Death to us means the end of the happy times we have with our family. That means the end of all the ambitions we had, all the things that we had planned to do in the future. That means the end of everything. And this fear of death is paralyzing our lives. It is making us live in a way which is not living, which is just existence. We are just eating, we are just passing our times, and we are living in fear. So I would like to talk about this fear and how to deal with this fear in a very simple, everyday world. It's nothing extraordinary that I'm going to talk to you about, because I'm not here to give you a lecture on how to deal with your fear, because I also understand that this fear about this coronavirus is something that we cannot deny. It is something that has enveloped our lives in such a way that we do not know what to expect out of life tomorrow, because we have not faced the Second World War. We have not faced any other epidemic of this measure. We have faced some natural disasters, we have faced some personal disasters, but something of this massive level we have never faced. So I would request all of you to just rethink about this fear of yours. I want you to really go deep into this fear and try to understand what you are fearful of. Is it about losing your lives? Is it about losing your loved ones? What is it that is scaring you? First of all, write it down. As you write down your fears, you will have much more clarity, because you will understand that this fear that we are talking about is not as logical as you make it out to be. Any and everyone just cannot come and get coronavirus. We need to be in contact with certain persons. We need to be frontline workers to get coronavirus. If we maintain a certain amount of restrictions and a certain amount of rules that the government has set for us, I do think that you will get coronavirus. It's not easy to get coronavirus, because in my house I have a doctor who is going to the hospital and coming back, and with all the precautions she is maintaining and we are maintaining, we are fine as yet. My son has come from 2,500 miles away and he's traveled into 3 different types of modalities, but still keeping him in quarantine, we realized that he was fine. It is nothing. So I think this fear is more something which is in your mind, which has been created in your mind by the media, by the amount of the stories that is going around it. If you observe the death tallies that we are talking about, and if you observe, if you can get the statistics of the normal deaths that are happening every day in every city in this current scenario, in this last 1 month, you will realize that the amount of people dying out of coronavirus is much lesser than what is happening in the normal thing. I have seen many deaths in my locality dying out of strokes, dying out of pneumonia, just plain pneumonia, not coronavirus, dying out of heart attacks or kidney problems, whatever they were suffering from, or sudden onset of a disease. It is not that you always have to catch a disease to die. It sometimes can be something you have been carrying for years. And how do we carry and contact these diseases? The basic thing, even though you will be arguing with me that it's the virus, it's the bacteria that give us diseases, I would like to say here that maximum time it's our thought process, it's our emotions that invite a disease into our lives. For example, if you just close your eyes now for a few minutes and you just relive any incident in which you were very angry, just go back to that incident for a few minutes, for a few seconds, and just relive that incident when you were very angry. Just remember what it did to your body. How did your body feel during that time? How stressed your body was, how out of breath your body was, how much shaking there was in your body. And just imagine if this anger goes on for days after days, months after months, how damaging it can be to your nervous system, to your heart, to your arteries, to your cells. How damaging just an emotion like anger can be. And if you tell me that it's just the virus and the diseases that are giving you, I don't believe in that, because I've studied a lot of things and I've come to the conclusion that most of our diseases are because of our lifestyles and because of our thought patterns and our emotions. So I'm talking about this fear about the coronavirus because I realize that the more people are fearful, the more people are scared, they are bringing the immunity down. You can just Google and see how fear destroys the immunity, how anxiety destroys the immunity. So if you are destroying your immunity, you are making yourself more prone to the virus. And if you are making yourself more prone to the virus, you are making yourself more easy to catch any disease. So I would request you all, first of all, to address your fears. See if the fears are logical enough, if they are rational enough. Suppose you get the virus, but you are an able-bodied man or a woman or a child and you have no other diseases. There is a 99% chance that you can come home cured. But we are not thinking about it. Just the thought of the virus is taking us to a panic mode. Why? India has the lowest death rate. Do you know why? Because we eat a staple diet which consists of turmeric and many other spices which are antibacterial, antifungal, anti-antibody. It has a lot of creates a lot of antibodies in our body, which is one of the reasons India has such a low rate of deaths in the coronavirus. Death is something which is not random. In my spiritual journey, I have learned that death is something which is predestined, and each soul before it comes to the earth plane has decided exactly when to leave the earth. And many people who are exiting earth now through coronavirus or otherwise had decided to leave at this certain time. because it was in the soul plan. Now you may tell me that if it was in the soul plan, and if a man of 40 dies and he was the sole breadwinner earner of the family, what happens to the family? How can a person choose such a life plan? But actually we are just looking at it from the window. We are having a small view of the whole thing. If we look at it from a highest perspective, we can see that maybe his wife, his children had chosen a life in which they had decided that they will learn how to take care of themselves without the help of anyone. I have been dealing with many cases where people have suffered such tragedies in their life, and I've seen them come out much stronger than before. And they have dealt and handled their lives in such beautiful ways that they didn't even know they could do it. They were so dependent wives or husbands who were so caught up in their family lives, they didn't know how to exist without their spouses or their parents or the children, whatever loss they suffered. But when they realized that they have nothing else to do but handle their grief and move on, they were one of the beautiful examples of people really excelling in their traumas and flying through life. So, friends, a human being is a very powerful being, and death is not something which can keep you binded in your territory. Because of death, it doesn't stop life. It doesn't stop life in any way. It doesn't stop your family. It doesn't stop your career. It doesn't stop anything. Life goes on. And however harsh it may sound, no one is indispensable. So I would request you all to let this fear out of your system. And I would like to suggest to you certain things that you could do during this lockdown period, which will make you feel happier. I know many of you have subscribed to Netflix and are watching endless movies and serials and anything that is keeping you occupied. But are you actually reconnecting to yourself? That is the basic thing that you should be doing right now. We are always keeping ourselves busy because we are not comfortable being with ourselves. We are not comfortable being lonely. We are not comfortable doing things on our own. We always need our offices, our careers, our schools, our colleges, our friends to keep us busy, to keep us happy. But this is the time I think you should really learn to reconnect to yourself. You should really learn that what is it that makes you really happy, and start doing that. Every one of you had some dreams in your childhood, dreams that you think are not feasible in this current world because maybe society, maybe your parents, maybe your friends told you, भाई ये नहीं चलता है, इससे क्या कमाओगे, इससे क्या होगा. That is the genuine thing that people do. Or if you are a very good artist, they tell you art doesn't provide for you. You have to be an engineer, doctor, a lawyer, a seer to be really rich in life and enjoy the comforts of life. But somewhere inside you, don't you still have that longing to draw, that longing to paint, that longing to sing, that longing to dance, that longing to cook maybe? It can be anything. It can be just designing courses for others because you love to teach. It can be anything. So it gives your soul a purpose, a fulfillment. I always used to think that writing was my forte, writing was something which made me happy. But one day I realized what made me really happy was when I could take people out of their pain. It was something which made me feel comfortable, happy, fulfilled deep inside. That is when, in my 40s, I again went out and started learning psychology, counseling, As it is, I was reading a lot of self-help books, learning a lot of spiritual things, but then I realized that the base thing that my soul wanted was to go and do a lot of counseling, help people out of their pain, show people the way that their soul really wants to be. And it gave me a lot of peace, a lot of joy, much more than anything else in my life ever did. That was my soul purpose, and I found it. But how did I find it? By looking deep inside myself, by talking to myself, by understanding what really made me happy. I've always been a little bit of a loner because I used to go into these moods, and these moods made me write poetry. And later on I realized that this lonership, which people used to think is not normal, being a loner, has its advantages because it made me go deep inside me. It made me explore things that many people never even want to explore in their lives. But sometimes it gives them a lot more peace. Because finally what we all are wanting, what all we are striving for, is a little bit of peace, a little bit of happiness, a little bit of well-being. That is what we are striving for. It's not the money, it's not the number of digits in our bank account that really makes us happy. I think this few days of lockdown has showed you that the digits in your bank account have nothing to do with happiness. Happiness comes from inside. Happiness comes from sharing with others. And if in this time you can share yourself with your family by helping them out in the kitchen, helping them do the tasks that they're going to do because no one is having help right now, that will make you happy. It will make you feel fulfilled. You can have games together. The whole family can sit together and play some games, sing some songs, have an antakshari contest. It doesn't matter if you can sing good or awfully. Finally, it matters. What matters is the joy that you share by doing some things together. And I would strictly say put off the news maximum to 2 times a day. I would not recommend you watching the news every hour. Because media doesn't give you stories about joy, about hope, about the goodness of the heart. It is always trying to frighten you, always trying to scare you, always trying to make you run around in circles wondering what is going to happen to your life. And that can never be good for you because it creates a lot of stress, and as we all know, stress destroys us completely. From making our hair fall, to a heart's block, to a knees joint pain, everything is caused by stress in different levels and different forms. So if you want to move out of stress, I would ask you to go for group activities. I would ask you to listen to music, watch comedy movies. You can do a bit of gardening. It is very healthy, very helpful, and it keeps a lot of depression away. Cooking and gardening are two of the best things that can keep you off depression. I would like to teach you some simple techniques that you can do to ease out your stress, your fears, and your depressions also. You can just now close your eyes. Sit as relaxed as you can. Imagine yourself sitting inside a circle. And the circle is decorated with beautiful colors. A design made of beautiful colors. And you're sitting on that circle. And as you sit in that circle, you can feel a beautiful golden white light falling on you from all around you, all sides and corners. And as this light falls on you, you feel a deep peace inside you. Sit in this circle in a very relaxed state and start breathing deeply. As you breathe in, try to take your breath till your lower back. Breathe in deeply till your lower back Hold the breath for a few seconds and then slowly exhale, let the breath out. Breathe in deeply. Hold the breath for a few seconds and then again breathe out. With every breath, you feel your body, your mind, your emotions getting calmer and calmer, more peaceful and more relaxed. Keep on breathing deeply till your lower back or your heart center, whichever suits you. Hold the breath for a few seconds and then again release the breath. As you keep on doing this, your body starts to relax. The stress, the strain, the fear starts moving out of you. With every breath, see this beautiful golden light flowing into your body, into every cell of your body, to the spaces between the cells, to your organs, into your blood, your bones, your tissues, your muscles, your DNA, your RNA, your mitochondria. Just feel this golden light reaching every part of you, every little bit of you. With every breath that you take in, this beautiful golden light flows into every part of your body, every cell of your body. You hold the breath for a few seconds, and as you breathe out, this golden light is pulling from your cells, your body, your mind, your emotions, your energy body, everything that is not serving you. See this beautiful golden light flowing inside your veins, filling your whole body with this golden light and then moving out. Slowly, taking with it everything that is not serving you. As this light flows out of you, it is pulling away all your anxiety, your depression, your hopelessness, your helplessness, your anger, your fear, until your body feels lighter and more relaxed and more peaceful. Keep on breathing deeply, holding the breath for a few seconds and releasing the breath. This simple technique will help you to relax, because until your body relaxes, your body cannot heal. And the basic thing that you need to do for healing yourself is relax yourself. Any time when you're stressed, just close your eyes and do this breathing meditation. It will help you relax. Keep sitting in this space, in this golden light, and in this circle which has these beautiful colors below you. Each of these colors have a special quality, and as you sit in these colors flow into your body, giving your body all the balance, all the emotional balance needed in each of your chakras which are related to these colors. Chakras are just energy centers in your body which get this balance and which can be balanced by the color therapy also. So feel these colors move into your body, feel this golden light flowing from you, into you from above and through your nostrils, and you're in a totally relaxed, peaceful state. In this totally relaxed, peaceful state, I would request you to do something for the world, for the people in the world who are suffering, we are in pain, and who are not as realized as you are. So I would request all of you to close your eyes and imagine in your heart center a beautiful pink lotus. Imagine this beautiful pink lotus blooming in your heart center. And as this beautiful pink lotus blooms in your heart center, your whole body and mind and emotions are filled with love. Pink is the color of love. When you're in love, your aura becomes pink. So fill your heart with this pink light. And as you fill your heart with this pink light, just imagine this light growing bigger and bigger. This pink light inside your heart, see it growing bigger and bigger, and until it fills your whole body, your whole aura. Now see this pink light moving from you to the whole of the universe. Slowly it moves to your family, to every member of your family, to every part of your house. Then it moves from you to your locality. Then it moves from your locality to your whole town, your city. And then it slowly moves out till it encompasses the whole of your country. Then it moves out to the whole of the world. And this light goes into every living being, and it heals them at deep levels, sends them an energy of love and light. And as this love and light moves into every soul, into every living being, they are healed at deeper layers. And it's a simple meditation by you. You may say, how does this help anyone? But it helps. It helps by raising the frequency of the earth. It helps by raising the vibrations of the people. It helps by healing them. And every one of us, if they do this meditation every day, just sending this pink light to the whole world and to every living being, it can create miracles for the world. So I request you, friends, whenever you can, it takes only 3-4 minutes. You can do this meditation and you can send this energy to the world. And whenever you are stressed, just play the Om or chant the Om. Om is one of the most balancing, most beautiful sounds on earth, which can really transform you on the spiritual, emotional, physical, mental levels. People with psychological disorders have been found to improve a great deal if they have been put under this sound of Om. So I would request every one of you in this lockdown period to reconnect to yourself, reading books, listening to podcasts, videos on YouTube, which are really on topics which interest you, which really heal your soul. Just do not pass your time just like that. I would request you to really do something which empowers you, which makes you a better you, because you never had this much time before. You have always longed for a long leave. You always longed for a time when you didn't have to go to office, you didn't have to go to college, you didn't have to go to school, you didn't have to do anything. And this is a godsend. You may say, this is a virus, how can you say it's a godsend? No. But the time that you are getting for yourself is a godsend. And I would request all of you to use it to the best of your abilities, the best of your capacities, so that when this lockdown is over, you emerge a better you, a healed you, a happier you. Because I think you are now realizing how little things we need for our everyday life. This running around for money, for designer clothes, for ultra-modern cars, for lavish houses, actually is really not that much needed as we think we need. It is not necessary for our well-being. It's not necessary for bringing a smile to our face. What is needed is peace inside. And peace inside can really come when you start accepting your life for where and what it is. Not fighting with life ki, I wish I had this degree, I wish I had this kind of a partner, I wish my children would like this, I wish I worked in that firm, I wish I was doing that. That can only cause you more and more pain, more and more unhappiness. But the moment you accept life, you start flowing with life. And one who flows with the life really finds happiness in little things of life. We have stopped being appreciative of life. We have stopped being grateful for the good things of our life. We are always finding faults. We are criticizing others. We are criticizing our life. We are criticizing ourselves. We don't love ourselves. And a person who doesn't love oneself can never be happy. So I request you all to be more thankful for the gifts you have in life, to be more grateful, to Be more appreciative of others, whatever they do for you. If they bring you a glass of water, say thank you. Appreciate whatever they are doing for you. Don't take it for granted. And accept life at whatever stage you are, wherever you are. Know you can always improve. Work on yourself to make yourself a better you. Smile, spread love. Send love to others. Try to make others' lives a little better. Contribute. Contribution is something which really opens up the doors of your heart and really gives you peace inside, joy inside. If you feed a little doggy, you know how much joy it gives you. If you go around and see a disabled person on the road and you help that person to cross the road, you know how much joy it gives you inside. Now in this lockdown period, we cannot do these things, but you can ring someone who's lonely and talk to them for some time. Just give them company. Ring up someone who is really old and ask them how they are doing, how they are managing. Because many people are not having the household helps, and it's really a very traumatic position for senior people because they cannot do so much work. Just call on them. Say you're sorry. Say wish you could help them. And see how it brightens up the day. Because finally, in life, we have come to spread love, to give love, and to be love. Wishing you all a beautiful lockdown period. This is Shatrupa signing off from Kolkata with lots of love and light. Thank you.